pretend! Let's pretend! Let's pretend we score the goal!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the fortnight again. Yes, that's right, the fortnight. It's the Coach Killers podcast, episode 24. My name's Nick, and I'm here with my co-host, Stefan. How you going, Stefan?
Fantastic, mate. It has been a hot, stinking week in Melbourne, mate. That's for sure.
Yes,
I mean, I'm sweating right here, as you can see. We're burning here, huh?
But, mate, what a week it's been. Oh, what a couple of weeks it's been in football. Some crazy results.
Yeah, since the break, I mean, oh, my God. What has happened?
Mate, so much has happened the past 2 weeks. We're going to go through it all.
Yes.
Jam-packed episode.
Yes, we are.
We're going to go through the demolition of Roma.
Leave me alone.
I can't wait to hear your rant on that.
Okay, okay.
You know, go through some A-League.
The A-League's, mate, we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so we've got our A-League
Australian
review,
football.
the expansions.
Yeah.
We've got a new segment.
Yes.
Right? New segment coming up, so we won't give that away yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of give that away.
Yes.
At the end, we've got a giveaway coming up this Monday.
Yeah.
The 4th of Feb, I think it is.
Yes.
So stay tuned, and you'll find out more about that later in the show. But let's kick off with our Coach Killer of the Week.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Stefan, drum roll, please.
I'm doing this with one hand, all right? Here it goes.
And our Coach Killer of this week is Chelsea FC. Do you like my presenter voice there? It's good. So,
Fantastic.
Stefan, give us... Oh, well... I'll do it.
You can do it.
I'll tell
you want to
why.
rub it in, so off you go.
Oh, the Blues. What can I say?
We've got the Blues at the moment. That's
Bournemouth beat Chelsea 4-0 this past weekend. It was a complete demolition of their team. Even, the manager, Sarri, in their post-match press conference, he laid into the boys. He pretty much said that they're not playing as a team. Yeah. They're playing as 11 individual players.
Yeah.
And once they conceded the first goal... that was
hell
it.
broke
They
loose.
didn't want to play anymore. What does that say to you? What do you make of that?
Do you know what? I don't like Chelsea. I want them in the Championship where they belong. I'm serious. I don't like Chelsea. Do you want to know why?
Why?
They are the dumbest team in the Premier League right now. Firstly, they went to go get this manager that's won nothing. He was a banker, right? He was a banker.
No, you can't. Sarri's
won
class.
Nothing. He's not class. He's won nothing. Not even an Italian Cup, for crying out loud. Why sign him? Secondly, they go give their young players away for these old hacks. I'll give you 2 examples. Giroud and Higuain have come in, and who's gone out? Who's gone out?
Oh, well, they've loaned out Morata to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
And they've also loaned out Batshuayi to Crystal Palace, of all places.
And what a stupid move.
Apparently Tottenham were in for him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what happened there.
But...
they only have Higuain now to really rely on.
Higuain.
Higuain.
He's no good.
Higuain's class. He's class. I don't know if he's past it now,
He's
though.
a class pizza delivery guy, all right?
Well, he's better than Giroud. Come on, let's be honest.
But together they're one of the most formidable partnerships in Europe. I can't. I don't like Chelsea anymore.
And to top it off for Chelsea, they've also drawn Manchester United in the FA Cup round 5.
I know. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a clash to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be another blue moment for
But
Chelsea.
what do you make of Sarri's comments, like coming out and saying that about your team?
For me,
has he lost them?
Yeah, he's lost them. He's lost them. 100%.
You reckon?
There's no way back for Chelsea. It's only going to get worse from here. It's the beginning of the end.
I don't know.
No, it is. I'm telling you. I know for a fact.
Okay.
Believe me, I can see through the crystal ball. I'm looking at it, and it's telling me Sarri's out of there before the end of the season.
So what do Chelsea need to do to get back on track?
What they need to do,
Yeah.
Focus on growing their young players instead of selling them for these overrated old hacks, such as Giroud and Higuain. They got rid of... I mean, why can't you stick with Morata? What? Because he missed...
Morata was there for less than 2 years. Like, he's a young kid.
That's right. And he shined at Juventus, right? And they went to a Champions League final. He played in that. So he's got way more experience than, I'm afraid, Eden Hazard, who's their best player.
When Morata went there, everyone's like... Because you remember at the time, Chelsea were after Lukaku.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? And then they got Morata, and everyone's like, oh, Morata's better than Lukaku. Well, what happened, mate?
Yeah, I know.
Why is he gone?
Regardless about that, Chelsea didn't stick the course with him.
Yeah.
Right? And their lineup's an absolute joke. Like, Sarri's got Kante playing as a right centre mid.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about that. And he's got Jorginho as a centre midfielder trying to defend. Jorginho is an attacking midfielder.
I feel like Pedro, Hazard, Willian, they all need to do more.
I feel like their team
Especially
is absolute rubbish. And that's
they
why...
They got a good side. They got a quality side. But
they got guys sitting on the... Like, what about Loftus-Cheek? What about Emerson? These guys that are actually performing well.
They even loaned, or they sold Baba Rahman.
Yeah,
as well. Like he was very promising at left back.
Yeah, but this is my point. Who's making these ridiculous decisions? If
Chelsea fans out there,
Chelsea fans,
let us know what you think about your team. We'll put up a post this week on Instagram and Facebook. So
if there is a team at the end of the week.
No. Anyway, but Chelsea, that's why you're our coach killer of the week.
Yes, and now let's move on to the A-League review.
Yes, the A-League review is on. Stefan, go for it. Kick it off.
I've got a ripper to start this segment off this time.
Let me hear this.
So we'll kick it off with last night's shambles of the Western Sydney Wanderers against Newcastle
Shambles
Jets.
Or are the Jets on fire, mate?
Mate,
Woo.
It was at halftime. It was 3-0, right? And the game finished 5-1.
How good was Dimmy, mate? Oh, Petratos.
No, Petratos, what a strike. That was a hectic bullet from outside the box. Roy O'Donovan scored 2 goals. Dimmy Petratos on the score sheet. Jason Hoffman, the good old Hoff. And Matthew Riddington, right? I don't know who Matthew Riddington is, I won't lie, but the big Hoffman, you know, dominating in the midfield there, mate.
Yeah, he was instrumental.
I just want to query, firstly, what the hell are Western Sydney doing, firstly, with their young players, because they're absolute garbage, right? And secondly, Nick, I just want to ask you, when is Marcus Babbel's head going to explode?
I think it's already gone. It's in space at the moment, orbiting the moon at the moment.
I have never seen a coach as red as a tomato like that.
Hey, I like that, mate. That shows passion, and
honestly,
that shows that he gives a shit.
Well,
I like it.
You like it?
I like it. It shows because it shows that he cares, and it should, fire something up in his players.
Can I just tell you something?
They were deplorable last night.
Yeah,
the Jets had their way with them, really.
They did, but just listen to this stat, right? The Western Sydney Wanderers are 1 home loss away from equalising the longest winless run on home turf in A-League history.
More than Central Coast Mariners?
More than Central Coast Mariners.
Wow. Well, the Western Sydney Wanderers came in and they to the A-League, and they were so good.
I know.
What's changed? What do you think has changed? I think
the players. They got rid of, really good players. You got to remember, Aaron Moy played there before he went to Melbourne City. They had a really good... They had Shinji Ono, Santalab at a young age. They had the... what's his name? That goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper was sensational. I can't remember his name, but he was really good. He was Croatian.
Was it Eugene Galekovic?
Not Galekovic. No, it was...
I think he had a stint there.
He might have. Yeah, I think Galekovic had a stint there. Anyway, regardless, they won the Champions League with Popper, and they're flying high. Yeah. And now they've come right back down to planet Earth, where we are all on.
Did not expect this, really.
No,
they got Marcus Babbel in.
We tipped them to make the finals at the start of the season.
Do you think that's gone now for the Wanderers?
I think there's not even a question. It's out the window.
Wow.
Just like my Macca's bag last night. But anyway...
Hey.
No littering, sorry.
Keep Australia colourful. Anyway, yes, we don't endorse that. But what about the Jets? Did they show something, or was it just that the Wanderers were poor?
I think it was the Wanderers were really poor, and the Jets played out of their skin. I don't think the Newcastle Jets are on any type of resurgence.
How good was our man, Georgievsky?
Daniel Georgievsky, mate. He's an absolute animal.
Did you see now how they're playing the 3-5-2?
Yeah,
3-5-1-2, I think.
It's disguised, yeah.
And he's playing out on the wing now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and he's actually playing. He's playing really good. He's doing a good job. So they all are. And well done to the Jets. They actually thrashed.
You know what? I really hope the Jets, can make it.
I hope so.
They're a few points off now. Adelaide need to,
Yeah, Adelaide need to. But moving on.
Okay.
Adelaide United beat Central Coast last week 2-1.
Big deal, mate.
Big deal.
It's only Central Coast. Anyway. Sorry, Central Coast fans, but you're rubbish. Sorry.
I'll just explain the scene, right?
Okay.
An absolute cracking goal from the Mariners, right? In the 37th minute. They take the lead 1-0, right? Isaias equalises for Adelaide United in the 62nd minute. And then the great man from Adelaide United, Mr. George Blackwood, comes on, nods in a header at the 92nd minute, and they win the game 2-1. And Cooper's Stadium's alight, mate.
They didn't deserve that anyway.
The Coopers were flowing. The Coopers were flowing after that goal by Blackwood. Sensational. But I think it's actually ruined Central Coast Mariners, their little resurgence they were having.
I think
get
the
robbed
Central
like that, and
Coast
the strike.
The Central Coast are now where Wellington Phoenix were at the end of last season.
I know, but
this off season that's coming up after this season,
they need it.
They need to
bolster,
rethink, and
they need a whole club restructure.
They need something.
Yeah, I agree.
They need to bring in a big player, a big marquee player. They missed out on Bolt.
Yeah, I know.
At least they would have got him some money.
They would have got him some money, but that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Still to this day,
he's retired from internet. He's retired from football now.
Yeah, has he retired?
He's officially retired.
I didn't like that one bit. But anyway, if we have to move on.
Yeah, it was a bitter result.
It was. It's pegged them back.
Okay, what's next?
So finally, I want to talk about my favourite team right now in the A-League. Mm-hmm. Can you have a guess of who it is?
Your favourite team
right now in the A-League?
Melbourne Victory?
No, Wellington Phoenix, mate. The Knicks. The Knicks are flying. So they beat Melbourne City 1-0, right, last week. And it was a critical win for them, given that they lost to Sydney and they lost that beautiful record of being unbeaten for like 9 games, right? So they're back on a resurgence again. They got a tougher mentality with Mr. Mark Rudan there. I just want to query you, Nick. Mm-hmm. Can they back it up against Perth Glory in Perth this week?
That's a tough ask. Perth,
will we see?
Perth, I can't believe they're still top of the league, Perth. They're playing amazing football, right?
Yeah, they're the benchmark. They've been the benchmark all season.
And I can't believe it. I think they're the oldest team ever on record.
Really?
I think they've got 12 players in their squad that are over the 30 and over.
Wow.
Right? What kind of a stat is that?
I know,
so more than the Brisbane Roar like a few years ago.
That's ridiculous.
So I think they're the oldest team on paper and ever in the A-League.
And they're flying, right?
And they're flying.
So if Wellington beat them, what does that say, though? Can Wellington beat them? In Perth?
I don't know. I see Mr. Andrew Durante getting a header in.
Oh,
I don't know.
Mr. Andrew... Oh, that's a big hint there, Nick.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the Phoenix later, I guess. What about... Do you have any news besides results?
Do I have any news? Nick, you know me. Of course I've always got news for you besides results.
Stefan the journalist.
I've got some big news right here. We're going to talk about the A-League transfers that have just happened in like the last 48 hours.
Right, yeah.
So... let's talk about the Bruno Fornaroli situation, right?
Just briefly, because we've got a fan talk question.
Yes.
All right, just briefly.
Fornaroli will not play for City
at
all.
They're done.
He will not play for City under any circumstance for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. He's signing for Perth at the start of next season.
Okay. Who have City brought in? They've brought in someone.
City have brought in actually 2 players, which I cannot believe. They actually signed Jamie McLaren on deadline day.
Which is a good get.
Which is unbelievable, with 40 goals in 53 matches for his German team.
Is that a bit of a step back for Jamie McLaren, though? Why has he come back?
I don't know. This is the thing. Why was he doing so well? And to come back here, I'm not too sure. And he's still young. Look, he's still young. He's 25. I mean, you look at Moy. Yeah. Moy came back here at 23 and resurged his career. Now he's playing in the Premier League. Maybe McLaren will come down here and just absolutely destroy it. You know, I think he will. To be honest, he's a really good striker.
It's a good get, definitely for Melbourne City.
They'll be excited. But more importantly, I didn't imagine this one. Right? Mm-hmm. It's been confirmed that Mr. Shayon Harrison, a 21-year-old English striker who's a product of the Tottenham Youth Academy, has been loaned out to Melbourne City from Tottenham.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I can't believe that. That threw me off. When I saw that, I was like, wow, I did not expect that. So a Tottenham...
Never heard of the bloke, but we'll see.
I know, we've never heard of him, but he's a Tottenham Youth Academy prospect. So I think that's a pretty good move for the league.
It is a good move.
You know, so 2 strikers come in immediately for the best striker in
their captain.
Their captain and the best striker in the A-League. Do you think that City can contend now?
Oh, I think it's Perth and Melbourne Victories, mate.
So you don't think even with these guys coming in, they've got no hope?
Well, they're going to make finals, and we'll see. But I still back the Victory.
I just want to...
Sorry.
I just want to say one thing. Warren Joyce is an absolute joke.
That's fine. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
We've got a fan question.
I'll hold for now.
Just hold for now.
I'll hold my anger.
And Stefan, we had a Coach Killers exclusive yesterday.
Yes.
I don't know. Everyone would have seen it on our Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Tell us, what was the exclusive?
Well, if you're Greek or even a fan of international football, get excited. Get excited. Because Panagiotis Kone, the FIFA World Cup star, the 31-year-old Greek marvel, has signed for the Western Melbourne
Oh,
group.
my God. Oh, my.
It's actually a really good signing.
It's an okay signing.
It's a good signing.
To be honest, it's okay signing.
He played in the top leagues in Italy. He played for Udinese and Bologna and was by far their best player. He's a good player. He's got technical ability. He's 31.
Okay.
31-year-old. He's been to the World Cup with Greece. He's by far Greece's best player, right? Everyone knows that. He is.
More than Manolas?
Manolas, I don't know about Manolas at the moment. We'll talk about that later.
I don't know.
Do you think it's a good move? I think it's good for the league.
It's good. He's a world known player.
Yeah.
So it's good to have him down. I think they could have done, but they should have gone for Jay McLaren. Sorry.
Yeah. So you think they could have done better?
I think. What are they doing over there at Western Melbourne Group?
Western Melbourne Group.
Don't forget, tomorrow you can vote on the name.
Yeah, you can. Tomorrow you can vote.
Give us some ideas.
We're thinking Western Melbourne United.
Yeah, I like Western
Melbourne United. I think
let's see what happens.
And let's get the red and black kit out. So they're like their sister club, Manchester United, and then they can form an affiliation.
No, we have Manchester United will have nothing to do with
They can send down guys like Michael Carrick to be the water boy.
I don't know what they're doing down there, but all their coaching staff's Greek, except for John Hutchinson, right? I think
Not
that's
Hitchcock, Hutchinson, yeah.
John Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Like,
do you think they're lacking a bit of multiculturalism off the get-go?
Yeah, look, their coaching staff's Greek. Their first marquee player is Greek.
Yeah, I know.
What's going on? You're pushing away.
Looks like they're going to be West Melbourne Hellas at this rate.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but I'm not liking that so far.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see who else they can bring to the table and see if they can get an even bigger name player.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed. It's still not over for them.
Someone of like Honda's quality.
Let's get down Emmanuel Adebayor if we're talking multiculturalism.
Yeah.
Get someone like him down, a proven Premier League star.
Is he still playing? Is he still doing? Mate, they should have got Marouane Fellaini.
Fellaini went to China for how much?
Yeah, 10 mil. It just happened on deadline day.
What a joke!
Oh, yes, this morning.
I told you he was a hacknick from the start. Anyway, look, I think it's a good move. I think only because he's a good player. He's got a bit of
Fellaini?
No, not Fellaini. Panagiotis Kone. I think it's a good Panagiotti. I think it's good because he's very technical and he can do a lot of skills. He goes through players. Just the only thing is he doesn't have the big high profile that, let's say, Honda does. You know what I mean? He's already behind Honda and probably Toivonen, I'd say.
Toivonen's been a godsend for the victory.
We're going to talk about that very soon, by the way. So,
all right. Yeah. Well, let's that's been our A-League review.
Yep.
And let's talk about some of the expansion stuff.
Yes, let's do that. I mean, the expansion's happening right now in the A-League. The FFA have finally pulled up their socks.
Yeah, so Western Melbourne Group's coming in for the 1920 season, right?
Yep. And then you got the Southwest Macarthur Sydney bid that will be coming in the 2021 season.
Another Western Sydney team?
Look, I think it's good because regardless where it is, an expanded Hyundai A-League will connect, new communities in our two biggest markets, right?
It should have been Canberra.
I agree with that.
Personally.
Look, I'll give you something, right? The FFA has stuffed up completely, in my opinion, on this whole bidding process. Because, yes, take the Western Melbourne team because we don't have one for the people in the West. But they didn't need another West Sydney team. They didn't need it. Right?
No, well, what about Eastern Sydney?
Yeah, well, this is my point. There's too many Sydney teams, right? You've got how many teams from New South Wales? We've got Newcastle, Central Coast, Sydney FC, Western Sydney Wanderers, right? That's four bloody teams in a league.
What about Adelaide? Adelaide need a
what about
home
Adelaide?
rival.
Yeah, what about Adelaide's derby? They don't even have. I mean,
like a Port Macquarie team. Or something.
What about a Port Macquarie team? I think they stuffed up because Canberra's bid got rejected. Now the ACT, is nuts about soccer. Right, they're nuts. The AIS used to be there where all our Socceroos came from, right? That was the headquarters. So there's a big football following there, but more importantly, Canberra had international investors ready to say, right, if the bid was approved, they were going to build a $30 million training facility. Now,
that's right. That would have been huge.
That would have been massive for the league. I'm just reminding you about one thing.
It's
Melbourne
the capital.
Victory,
It's the capital. right?
Yeah.
It's the capital of our great country.
That's right.
And we don't even have a soccer team.
That's a joke.
We don't have a AFL team. We don't have... Oh, do they have a rugby team? I don't think so.
They do. They have the Canberra Raiders. But who cares about rugby?
Right. But you know what I mean? Like,
I know, it's a joke.
Give our capital something.
That's
like,
right.
You know?
And more
it would have
importantly,
been great.
I just want to let you know, the best team in the A-League right now is Melbourne Victory, right? We're talking status, we're talking players.
Yeah.
They're training in Gosh's paddock. They don't even have a facility. So imagine what this would have done for the league.
Yeah, that's right.
$30 million training facility. That's why I'm very disappointed with the FFA, and I think they're stuffed up.
Even bring back Gold Coast United. You know?
Yeah, why not?
Bring them back.
North Queensland Fury. What was wrong with Evan
We've
McQueen?
got a question in Fan Talk later as well about, you know, the FFA and how they've set it up and the league. So we'll touch more on that. But I don't agree with the another Western Sydney team.
Me neither. We both agree with that.
Canberra United, come on.
Yes, I agree.
But all right, let's move on to our game of the week.
Oh, you beauty! What a headshot! What a head!
Yes, the big blue. What a win it was for Melbourne Victory.
Huge win.
Huge win, mate. 2-1. Absolute great game. Very energetic from the off. So I was loving life.
Victoria.
They actually pegged Sydney back, which was good to see.
They always do, mate. Always. The Victory have it over
come
them.
to the fore, mate. They come to the fore when they got to win the big games. They absolutely destroyed them. The pressure in that game was immense.
Yeah, they picked up second spot in the A-League.
Yes, they did, and they extended their match-winning run, which was good to see, to 4 matches.
And how about Euler Toivonen? Another goal.
How good was that goal?
That free kick. Oof.
Do you want me to set the scene?
Set it.
All right, the moment of the game, right? Teresi gets fouled 25 yards from the goal, and Mr. Ola Toivonen steps up and curls a wonderful free kick over the wall and in off the post to grab his 100th goal of the season.
100th? Don't you mean 10th goal?
Yes, I do mean 10th goal, but this guy scores every game. And if you want a little multi-tip, just put him to score.
Yeah, $2 every time.
$2 every game, that's it. Double your money.
Wrong.
Unbelievable, though. I mean, they're really looking good. So, Nick, I just want to ask you something.
Go for it.
Do you think Melbourne Victory can contend and win the title? Do you think they can win?
Well, they're going to smash Central Coast tonight.
Yeah.
They're going to smash them. Toivonen hat-trick.
Toivonen hat-trick. You heard it first.
You heard it here first. But I think it'll be a dogfight between Perth Glory and Melbourne Victory.
But do you think they can win? Can they get
yes.
there?
Of course they can.
I'm going to go out on a limb now.
They're the best team ever, most successful team ever, and the biggest team in Melbourne. I'm going out
on a limb. The final will be Melbourne Victory against Wellington Phoenix, and Melbourne Victory will absolutely steamroll them in a 7-1 win.
7-1, I like that scoreline. Anyway, all right, let's talk about the game a bit more. So what else happened?
Yeah, well, I mean, Ninkovic pulled back a goal for Sydney FC, but in the end, the possession that Melbourne Victory was showing, it was just a joke. Like, the possession stats were ridiculous. They could not get the ball.
Well, Victory started the game very well.
They did.
Sydney, they weren't really in it. They had more. They dominated possession as well. You can't Victory just needed to win that.
Yeah, they did, and they did. You know, they did. They
needed to reclaim that second spot. Keep the pressure on.
It was
Perth.
a gutsy win, and I really liked it. I liked the way the Victory boys played, and I can't wait till Honda comes back because he's going to tear every other team a new what.
Is he injured? I don't think he's injured. I don't know why they're not playing him.
I think he's injured.
He didn't. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe it's because he's coaching Cambodia.
That's what I was thinking too.
I think that was a bit silly. But
if anyone out there has any more information, please let us know. I really don't think he's injured. I just think they're not playing him.
Maybe
he's just too good for the league.
Probably. I mean, they need him.
Yeah.
If they want to smash the rest of the oppositions, they
don't need him tonight against Central Coast.
No,
it's going to be a walk in the park.
I mean, they can put Stefan Negro up front and he'll beat them. I mean, he'll win. But he's not there anymore. So.
All right. It's time. You ready for this? It's time for a new segment.
I'm actually shaking.
Is it drum roll worthy?
I reckon we should give it a drum roll.
Drum roll, here we go. It's time for Around the Leagues. Yes, our debut segment Around the Leagues.
Can't believe it's here.
All right, so pretty much in this segment we'll talk about what happens all around the world, all the big things, all the big clashes, results, and things like that.
We will, yes.
Let's start off with Liverpool and their current form. So, out of their past 5 games, they've only won 2.
Yeah.
Right? They dropped points at the weekend to Leicester.
Yeah.
They're still top of the league, but I get a feeling that these results will continue to happen. As more games start happening, as the Champions League games start coming through.
Crucial games
things
are
like
coming
that.
up.
What are your thoughts on the Liverpools? Oh, Liverpool, sorry.
The Liverpools!
They've got one hand on the title right now. Can they hold on to it?
I was going to... Honestly, this was my opinion before the weekend. If they beat Leicester, I was going to say it was all over. They were home. The Liverpool fans could have started to celebrate. But because of the
crunch,
draw...
right?
Yeah, because of the draw, they blew an opportunity. I don't care. A Liverpool fan will come up to you now and say, oh, but we gained a point. It doesn't matter. You've still got the same gap regardless. You haven't moved anything. You haven't done anything.
Very true.
So I'm not going to say it's done yet. It's not done. It's not over.
It's still alive, huh?
It's still alive.
Well, in their next 3 games, they've got West Ham away, and then they've got Bournemouth and Bayern Munich at home. Do you think they win all 3?
That West Ham game is going to be a bit crucial because I think West Ham have got a lot of players out and they should be coming back in for that game. They've got a lot of their star players on the bench.
Well, the Hammers beat Arsenal a week ago or something.
That's right, with a half-full side. If they get a full side, the Hammers, by the time they versus Liverpool, I'd be a little bit worried considering the way Liverpool's playing.
Do you see them beating Bournemouth and Bayern?
I see them beating Bournemouth. Mm-hmm. Bayern, no way. No chance. No way.
Look, I don't see them beating Bayern either. And I also wouldn't be taking Bournemouth lightly after their display against Chelsea.
I'm not going to take anything away from Liverpool, but just quickly before you continue, I just want to say that they've done well, but they need to focus on the Premier League if they want to win it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's hope they don't win it, and if Manchester United don't win it, let's hope the other Manchester team get it done.
Oh yeah.
Let's move on to Arsenal. You picked them to win the league, right?
Yeah, I know.
United destroyed them at home at the Emirates in the FA Cup.
I know, yeah.
Like Jesse Lingard's home ground, pretty much. He loves scoring at the Emirates.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
But they've won 3 out of their last 5 games. What do you make of them this season, really?
If they can crack the 4, I mean, they've had an up and down season, but if they can crack that top 4 spot, I think they've had a positive year.
Hold the presses. They've signed Suarez from Barcelona. I don't know if you heard that during the week.
Oh my God, Suarez!
Yeah, Dennis Suarez, not Luis Suarez. Dennis Suarez.
Oh, who's that? Who's that?
Well, he played under Emery at Sevilla.
Oh well, watch out.
So he knows what he's getting there. Do you think they'll improve Arsenal, like getting him?
No.
No. Give
I think the problem...
Guendouzi and Torreira an extra option in the midfield?
Torreira is an animal. Guendouzi plays one good game and one bad game. Xhaka's absolute rubbish. I think they've got bigger problems at Arsenal than just the midfield. Yeah. I think their forwards are a bit mediocre, like Aubameyang. I think he's overrated. I think Lacazette's way better than him. Got better ability, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
I think Lacazette's a proven finisher. Aubameyang, he's past his best.
Do you think Arsenal are now on top of Chelsea, so Chelsea's gone to 5th, I think?
Look, I don't want to be disheartening to any Man United fans, but they blew it.
Well, we still got to play them again in the league.
I know you got to play them again, and I think that'll be the game that decides. Whoever wins that game gets for the 4. Because Chelsea's no way, not for Chelsea.
You reckon Chelsea's drop out?
Yeah. They'll drop out.
Bye-bye, Chelsea. All right, so to finish talking about the Premier League, Man City had a horror game against Newcastle at the weekend. They lost 2-1. They dropped further behind Liverpool. Liverpool got the draw. Yeah. So they still gained some points on...
1 point.
Well, 1 point.
Doesn't make a difference, but...
I read somewhere Pep was absolutely furious after the game. He held them in the rooms for half an hour, just laying into them. And we're like, what are you... Gibbs doing?
He's a bit fiery these days, Mr.
Do you think
Pep.
that's deserved to the boys?
Well, you know what? A loss here and there is not going to hurt, and to me, they're still the champions till they're not crowned the champions again.
Well, look...
But, I don't know. I think that they blew an opportunity, City. Like, honestly, they blew it big time, because had they had won...
Well, look, 14 games left. I think Liverpool are going to manage to let it slip up like they always do.
You honestly think so? You think Liverpool's not going to win?
There's a chance. I think even Tottenham have a chance to win the league.
If there's 7 games left and Liverpool's in front by this amount, they will win. I'll give you that.
Okay.
They'll win. If there's 7 games left, I'll give it from match day 31.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm match day 31 at the end of it, Liverpool is in front by this amount of points, they've won the Premier League.
That'd be a good episode. We'll do a run home to the end of the
End of
season.
the season.
Anyway, let's move on to PSG.
PSG.
They're out of the Coupe de France now.
Oh, I'm afraid.
Pretty much.
No more crepes for them. But anyway.
And they've pretty much, sewn the league up. The
league's
something
over.
like 13 points in front.
It's over.
With 3 games in hand now. Like Lille played and won 4-0 overnight, right? Which is a great result. They're second, but
they're second by
they're 9
another year.
They're 9 points in front now. 10 points, in front now.
Oh wow!
But they got 3 games in hand. So really, they're 19 points in front.
They are.
They've got it sewn up.
Yeah.
I think their main focus will be Champions League. And, news came out this week that Neymar will be out for close to 10 weeks. How much will this affect their, title hopes for the Champions League?
It will affect them, but you got to remember that we're coming up to 2-legged ties, right? So within 10 weeks,
he won't be back for either tie.
He won't be back for either tie. I think they'll get him back for the second leg if something goes amiss for the first leg, like if there's a catastrophe. But you still got Kylian Mbappe. You still got...
They do. They've
still got quality up front. So
well, does this increase... Because they're playing Man United, right?
Yeah.
Does this increase Manchester United's chance to progress now? Like, they're unbeaten under Solskjaer.
Yeah,
right?
For now.
The
loss will come. They're not going to go unbeaten for the whole season.
Well, you never know.
Even if they do, finishing 4th going unbeaten, I don't know if that's an achievement, but anyway.
Well, if he started, it's an
go
improvement
you're
from
saying,
where we were.
No, it is. I'm just
Christmas.
saying, to go unbeaten in the Champions League or to go unbeaten in the Premier League? Which one?
Both.
No
Why
way.
can't we do both?
Nah, you won't. There's just no
I don't think we will either, but let's see. Let's see how,
there you go. You just
8 games unbeaten so
mate,
far.
there are other teams ahead already in the Champions League.
8 games unbeaten so far. It's pretty
No,
good.
you've done well.
We've faced Arsenal and
You've done well, but
Tottenham in those 8.
PSG, mate.
Yeah.
We'll
see how it
They're
goes.
a good team. Both good teams at the moment.
What about Real Madrid? They seem to have picked up form now.
Yeah, they have. They're back. Real Madrid's back, so you don't want to get them in the Champions League again, that's for sure. I still think they're mediocre at the moment.
You do?
Yeah, they're just in a little bit of form. They've won 4 out of their past 5, and they're now through to the semis of the Copa del Rey.
Yeah, which is massive. It's a big cup to win in Spain. Copa del Rey.
Yeah,
they try and win it.
Yeah, I know. It's good for them. Good on them that they're back on track, but I'm still, wondering where they're really at in terms of Europe's elite at the moment.
Well, they're coming up against Ajax in the Champions League.
They've gone. Yeah.
Do you think they'll have any factor in the Champions League? Do you think they'll be a team
Ajax is
at the end?
Ajax is a good team. They won't beat Madrid over the 2 legs, but Madrid won't win the Champions League.
Well, pretty much. Madrid's 10 points off the title. Which should be their focus this season, I think. They have enough. They've won enough Champions Leagues.
Yeah, I agree.
Focus on the league. You're 10 points behind. Still, X amount of games left.
No.
I put all. If I was Real Madrid's director, I'd be like, put your heart and soul into winning the league. I'd be like, don't worry about Champions League. Don't worry about Copa del Rey. The league. That's what you want.
No, the league's over.
You've got to end Barcelona's dominance.
Copa del Rey or bust for you.
Okay. What about the Serie A?
Yeah.
What happened, mate? What happened? You know what I'm talking about. What happened?
No, it's okay.
The Rome boys really got their pants pulled down in the Coppa Italia. 7-1 to Fiorentina.
That's what happens when you're spoiled little brats, I guess.
Mate, they're struggling.
They're not struggling.
No, Fiorentina's struggling.
Yeah,
they're a mid-table team, and they come and they win 7-1. How does it happen?
It happens when your players don't want to play for the club. It happens when you've got mediocre players around the team. And it happens as well when I think the coach has lost a little bit of direction at the moment.
So you reckon it's time for him to go?
Nah.
Bring in Antonio Conte?
Nah. I don't think he's the right fit for Rome. He's not the right manager, Antonio Conte, for us. There's no way he will do a better job than our current manager, even though he's a trophy winner. I don't know. Look, for me, Everyone's played
What would
the
you
small
like
part.
to see? It's your team, right? Show some passion here. Give him a spray.
No.
What do you want? What do you want from Rome?
I want players with balls. That's what I want. I don't
Okay.
want players like Federico Fazio in the back line. I don't want players
Brian
like
Cristante.
Like Brian Cristante, correct. I don't want Steven Nzonzi running around in the midfield in exchange for Kevin Strootman and Radja Niangol, and that is absolutely ridiculous. I don't want guys like Justin Kluivert, a 19-year-old, son of a legend, playing for our team. I don't want
So you want a whole new team?
I do. I want a whole new backline and
backline.
midfield. The forwards are fine. Kluivert's all right. He's just a bit spaced out at the moment.
So who's gonna be the coach? Who do you want them to bring in? Do they stick with what's his name?
Yeah, I want him to stick with Di Francesco. I want him to stick with him because he's a young manager. You got to give him time. You can't expect. Look at all the greatest managers in history, right? What is one thing that that's been seen by everyone in football? It doesn't take 1 6-month stint at a club to change everything for him. It takes years, seasons of hard work.
It does.
Seasons of trying to get the right players in. Now that they've got the right youngsters in, they need time to develop.
Well, look, Sir Alex Ferguson struggled in his first few years.
Yeah,
as
and
United
then what?
manager,
And then?
but then he built a dynasty.
That's right. And he created, probably the best ever, managerial career in world football.
Oh, he's
at
the
club
best
level.
by far. But it doesn't get any easier for Roma. They play AC Milan this weekend. What do you want to see from Roma the rest of the season?
I want to see a team.
At least you guys got Porto in the Champions League, right?
Look, I'm going to say two things here. Firstly, looking at the table right now, Inter's on about 40 points in third place, and then you've got, I think it's Fiorentina in ninth on 33 points. There's 7 points between third and ninth. If we win this weekend and beat AC Milan, right, it'll be our 5th win on the trot in the league, right?
Yeah.
And then we're touching distance to third place. So how bad are AS Roma, or is it really how bad is the Italian league from third but down below?
Well, I think the Italian league is shocking, and this is one reason, right? Let's talk about another shocking result.
Yes.
Even though you didn't tell me what you want from Roma for the rest of the season.
I want them to win. I want them to get into the fourth. That's all I want. Get into the Champions League because the season's in a mist at the moment. It's up and down.
So you're looking at next season.
Yeah, I am. I've already looked at next season.
What was absolutely shocking was with a full-strength Juventus team, right? Ronaldo up front. How do you go and lose 3-0 to Atalanta?
Don't take anything away from Atalanta.
Look, I know they're not pushovers, but 3-0 with a full-strength side, right? It shouldn't happen. I think, it just looks like they don't care about the cup.
No, they don't.
Which is really sad.
They don't.
Right?
They actually don't care about it.
Like, you got a full-strength team.
Yeah.
No players missing, right? No
Win.
one. You got Ronaldo. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all you have to say. You got Ronaldo up there up front. You can't even score a goal and you lose 3-0 to an average team. They're average. They're not easy beats, but they're average.
They're not average. That's the thing. They are the team that deserve to qualify for Champions League over Milan, Roma, Fiorentina.
You
Inter.
reckon?
Yeah, they are. I can tell you for a fact.
But
And you know
3-0
what? They're
against
gonna come
Juventus.
close.
It's Juventus.
Yeah, I know. But they're going to come close to making Champions League. They're no pushovers.
That if I was an Italian football fan, right? If I was someone that loved it, watched it,
but Juventus
constantly,
isn't. But
I'd be pissed. I'd be like, and if I was a Juventus fan, I'd be like, what are you guys doing?
But Juventus isn't even that good of a team. This is my point. I'm trying to get out to everyone. Just because they win in Italy does not mean they're going to win the Champions League, and they're not going to win it. I promise you, they won't win it. I know they won't.
They can't even beat Atlanta to progress to the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia.
You can't beat Atalanta with Ronaldo.
I don't know. That annoyed me. It's like,
hey, sorry, quick thing. They lost to Young Boys in the Champions League.
They did.
With
they
a
lost
full
to United
team.
too.
Not with. That's right, but they lost. There's 2 games. One to Young Boys, one to United. Are they really that good? Considering the season that Man United was having at that stage.
No, I think they are. I think they're
not going to go all the way.
They'll be there. They'll have a final say.
Time will tell.
Even though United will win the Champions League.
You dream.
But yeah, mate. If put it this way, if I saw United going to an FA Cup match, full strength side
up against Cardiff.
Yeah, not Cardiff.
Probably West Ham, I'd say.
West Ham, yeah. All right, go up against West Ham and then just get their pants pulled down.
Yeah, I know. Well, it doesn't speak good volumes.
They didn't try.
That's right. They did.
Their minds are elsewhere.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree.
And that's been our first segment, our debut segment of Around the Leagues.
Yeah.
And now let's move on to your favourite segment,
Fan Talk.
When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
Yes, the first fan talk for 2019. I've never been so happy in my life.
So glad it's back. And
It's good to be
all
back.
right, let's kick it off with our first question from Liam_Proof26.
Liam again.
Yes, he asks, What are your thoughts on Perth Glory's top performance so far this season and their fitness improvement?
I think it's been very, very good. I think that they're the benchmark. Their fitness is 10 out of 10, so they've come into the season as underdogs, let's be honest. No one expected them to be
Well, we didn't think
in
they'd be
front.
top.
No, we didn't think they'd be top, and they've shocked the world pretty much. They've shocked all of Australia. So I think they are a top team, and their fitness is on fire at the moment. I can't see anyone stopping them.
No, they're doing great. And
Yeah.
as we said before, they got the oldest squad ever
I
in
know.
the A-League.
That's what you said, which is
right?
ridiculous.
Top of the league.
And they're fit as flies.
I don't see why they can't go all the way. The only problem they'll encounter will be Melbourne Victory.
The mighty Melbourne Victory.
But, I wouldn't be shocked if...
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Not
Perth
after what
win the
we've
league.
seen. No, not after what we've seen. They deserve a shot at it anyway.
They totally do. Good job,
Yeah.
Perth.
Our next question is from Flying Penguin, who has a name like that on Instagram. But anyway, they say I hate off-target handballs being rewarded as penalties. Solution.
Well, they're cheap penalties, really. I agree that, they're not good for the sport.
I want to know, but what does he mean by off-target?
So, like, when you cross the ball in and it hits the player in
And that's
the
not
hand,
a penalty.
Well,
That's a penalty.
It's a cheap penalty,
It's
is
a
what
penalty.
we're saying.
Cheap or not cheap, you can't have your arm extended away from your
Well,
body.
not
If your
extend-
arm's
like-
extended away from your body and the ball
You
gets
know,
crossed
like
in.
that Lucas Neal one in the World Cup?
Penalty any day of
No.
the week. Penalty,
You're
all right?
Italian.
Penalty
You're
any day
Italian.
of the week. Are you serious?
I think, I agree. I don't think it's for the sport. I think
I don't
they should
agree.
do direct free kicks like they do outside the box. But maybe limit the wall to, maybe 2 people or 3 people.
But even those direct free kicks, that's right. Just as you're saying about the wall, there's the whole team's in the wall. So what's the point of even
No, but
having
I'm
a
saying
direct
you
free-
limit it. You say only 2 people or 3 people can stand in the wall and then the keeper. And everyone else has to be behind. Something like that. Because if you're on the corner of the box and you cross it, right, and you jump and your hands, by your side, but it still hits you, they give those penalties sometimes. And especially with VAR,
I don't know. Look, as long as the arm is extended from the body, it's a penalty. I don't care whether it's
So
a
you
cross
like
or a lob or anything. I don't care.
They're cheap penalties, mate.
They're not
Come on.
cheap penalties. A penalty's a penalty in my book. Get over it, Mr. Penguin boy.
All right, our next question comes from Javi Coley 1, and they say, Australia needs another competition system. The A-League with only 9 pro teams competing for 5 months of the year isn't good enough, really.
Yeah, I agree with him. You have the NPL competing for 7 months of the year, and they only allowed 3 foreigners, and finally state leagues with teams only training 2 to 3 times a week. How can we expect them to improve?
That's right. It's like, you can't get better if you're it's like Sunday League.
Yeah, that's right. It is. It is.
They
Sunday
have
league.
full-time jobs and they train once or twice a week. Hey,
Yeah, that's right.
How are you going to improve it, right?
I don't get it.
So the solution that was offered by Javi Coley 1
Yes.
was...
Explain.
For the FFA to use a system like they have in Italy, Spain, England, etc.
Yeah.
Where there are, 4 professional divisions. So you got A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
And, there's promotion and relegation on the table. Money's not the problem.
Yeah.
It's really the FFA's mentality. What do you make of that?
I think they need to adopt a system like Europe has. If they want to go anywhere with the national team as well and the league, they need relegation and promotion. It will bring in more money, more fans,
That'll
more
be
players.
so good. Imagine
Imagine like Central Coast right now is fighting to stay in the A-League.
That's right.
That's a big
Or
headline.
they'll drop down, and then they'll be in the same league as like Preston Lions.
Yeah,
or
you and the Preston
or
Lions.
Broadmeadows FC or something.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, why not put Bentley Greens or even
Yeah,
South Melbourne, Melbourne Knights? Get these teams.
Well, these
Marconi
teams-
from New South Wales.
Like how they do in England. Like you got
Yeah, that's
Shrewsbury Town.
Yeah, Yeovil. Bloody, Blackpool. You know what I'm saying?
Bournemouth,
Yeah.
which only holds 7,000 people, I think,
And,
or 5,000, something like that.
And now
really small, but they play in the Premier League.
That's right. If the A-League and FFA and the Socceroos want to move forward, they'll think smart and quickly about making, a B League, a C League, a D League, just to grow the game.
Totally agree, Stefan. Hopefully they do.
Thank you, Nick. It's
Hopefully
about
they
time.
do implement it. But all right, let's move on to our second last question.
Yeah.
And this one comes from Joseph McAway, and he asks, Fornaroli to Perth, is that a game changer? Are they a championship team now?
They already are a championship team. Just having him, they might be able to go back-to-back, if they win the title.
Who knows?
I think it's a boost. He's the best player in the A-League.
Why? I don't know why he's waiting till the end of the season. Why not move now?
They're not allowing it. Warren Joyce is not allowing it, and his contract doesn't allow it.
Hold up. I got another question. Our final question.
Oh, right? Let's go. Yes, that's right.
Our final question. So it ties in with this, more on the Fornaroli stuff.
Yep.
It comes from one of our Facebook followers, Sharnen.
Yep.
He states, he wants us to give an insight on the Joyce and Fornaroli relationship.
Perfect.
And also, what we think about how Warren Joyce played, Delat and Atkinson, who are both, right backs.
Yeah.
And also Wales and McGree, who are midfielders, as strikers, instead of playing a proven goal scorer, captain of your club up there. What do you make of that? There must
Warren
be
Joyce,
lots of tension at training.
Yeah, Warren Joyce is a big sook, in my opinion.
He is.
Because Fornaroli opened his mouth and said he wasn't happy that he got benched at the start of the season, he's basically put him into the stands. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Who the hell is Warren Joyce?
I would love to know what happened between the two.
I believe it's a spat at training because he wasn't going to get picked for the weekend.
Why would you not pick Bruno Fornaroli?
This is what I don't understand. And he's always... I don't know if you've watched the...
But the lad played out of his skin as striker. 7 goals or something, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But it's so stupid.
It is stupid.
It's dumb. And they're not going to win. They're not going to be a trophy team with Warren Joyce. Who the hell's Warren Joyce? Honestly, I want to get Warren Joyce on for an interview. I'll absolutely roast him. He is so mediocre. I reckon... what's his name? John Anastasiadis, the assistant of Western Melbourne, will you know what? Bricks over him, all right? Yeah. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, no, I don't think they've treated him
with
the respect he deserves.
Absolute disgrace. And if I was...
And it doesn't... players looking at the A-League and wanting to come in...
That's right. Look at that.
Seeing these things, I don't know.
And they don't even show him on the television. They're not allowed to show him. You know that, right? At the stadium? At the stadium. So the camera we watch from Fox Sports shows Bruno Fornaroli, but the camera they watch at the stadium can't show him. Really? Do you believe that? That is ridiculous. I can't believe that.
Yeah,
you're a disgrace. Warren Joyce, you're a disgrace. I don't like you at all.
I think now that, it's sort of resolved. He's going to Perth, which is great for Perth. And as we said, Melbourne City brought in Jamie McLaren to replace him. I think it'll be better for the team as a whole.
Yeah.
Right? So less tension at training. But... I think it might be an opportunity miss for Melbourne City. They could have won a championship.
I think
with Fornaroli up front.
Warren Joyce should have taken up his career as a shoemaker when he had the chance. He would have been better off.
Awesome way to end our first fan talk for the year. Let's have a look at some games now that are coming up over the next fortnight.
Big games. Big.
Yeah, huge games coming up.
We've got Sydney versus Melbourne City first.
That's a crunch game for both teams there. Who do you think will win?
City all the way.
City all the way? I think so too. I think Sydney will lose to both Melbourne sides this season.
Fantastic. Cop an arse whipping there for Sydney. What about Melbourne versus Perth Glory, Nick?
Huge top of the table clash.
Unbelievable.
What happens? Does Melbourne close the gap or does Perth extend the gap?
Melbourne takes them to the cleaners. It's Melbourne
victory all the way.
That's it. What about Man City versus Arsenal?
In the Premier League? I don't know.
Is this the one for the top 4?
Well,
does this dictate Arsenal's top 4?
Can they stamp their top 4, really? I think they can't. I think Man City will beat them as they did at the start of the season.
I'm going with the draw.
You're going with the draw? Okay, interesting.
What about let's go to France and get a croissant? Lyon versus PSG.
Oh, formality?
Yes, formality. PSG.
PSG, even without Neymar?
Yes.
Okay.
And lastly, what about my mob Roma up against AC Milan?
Can Roma find form here? Can they show something after that disgrace?
On the count of 3, ready? Let's say the word. 1, 2, 3. AC Milan.
You're not backing them.
Nah.
They're not going to show something.
I hope they do deep down, but I reckon AC Milan.
If they lose this game,
it's over.
Di Francesco's out.
Yeah, it is.
And they've said that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So
pressure's on.
Game. And, all right, let's talk about what our game of the week will be for our episode 25, which will be coming out on the 15th of February. 16th of February, Sunday.
Tell our listeners what our game of the week's going to be.
And our game of the week will be Man City versus Chelsea.
Oh, what a massive game. It's either do or die for Chelsea or Man City stall another title opportunity.
Man City got a hard run coming, but I think they should be able to beat Chelsea.
I think Man City will win as well.
Quite comfortably.
Yeah. And that's been our show for this fortnight. Some huge talking points, some huge results, and some big fails, as always. But we have a giveaway to announce.
That's right, Stefan. Tell our listeners what we're giving away.
So, the giveaway prize will be a signed pair of match-worn boots from Wellington Phoenix captain Andrew Durante.
Wow. What a giveaway.
I know, I can't believe it. The most appearances for one club, the one club man, Andrew Durante. Man. You get his boots in our giveaway.
That's right.
So we'll be putting up a post on Instagram and Facebook on Monday, so stay tuned on how to enter, people.
Phoenix fans, get excited. And like Stefan said, go follow all our socials and, so you'll be in the know on how to enter and win this awesome prize.
Yeah,
really.
well, I mean, how good would it be to give it to a Wellington Phoenix fan, So for all you little Knicks fans out there...
anyone, really.
I know, even anyone, but even if you're a Phoenix fan, you want to enter this competition.
That's
it's
right.
your captain, your legendary captain's boots that are signed by him. Why wouldn't you want to enter?
Stefan, tell the people where they can find us.
Yes, make sure you follow, like and share the Coach Killers podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music and YouTube. All at Coach Killers Podcast.
That's right, at Coach Killers Podcast. And just remember, when you're on a long-haul flight, or any flight really, make sure you have the Coach Killers Podcast on your device, your tablet, your phone, whatever it may be, just to keep you entertained when, the hairy guy that's sleeping behind you is snoring, or there's a baby in front of you
going off,
crying its eyes out. The Coach Killers Podcast will get you through.
Warren Joyce, make my shoes. Dilly ding, dilly dong.